Welcome aboard, space travelers.
This is episode 56 of the Mouseport podcast for the week of March 15th. I'm Kate, and I'm joined by Megbeth.
Hello.
And our weekly fill-in for this week, Tim.
How you doing?
Since Mark left, we're probably going to have rotating between Tim and Adam, and maybe when they can't come on, we'll have some other guest hosts. This week, we'll be talking about the Disney planning timeline. Come along through the Mouseport. Welcome to the Mouseport podcast. We are your passport to Walt Disney World and everything Disney related. This week at the Newsport.
This week it is St. Patrick's Day week, so Raglan Road will be hosting its Mighty St. Patrick's Day Festival from March 16th through the 19th at Disney Springs. On March 17th, actual St. Patrick's Day, guests will be seated on a first-come, first-served basis with a cover charge of about $10 each for each guest above 18. You can call to book at 407-938-0300.
Don't you think it's weird it's not 21 and over?
Yeah, and also that phone number sounds really weird because it's not like Disney Dining or Disney, it's just like random number.
Yes, but WDW something else. Yeah, that is weird.
Call this sketchy number. There's going to have food and drink. Obviously, it's a restaurant with musicians and dancers performing on multiple different stages, inside and outside. It says from 1 a.m. to 2 a.m. daily. That's crazy. There's 6 bands and Irish dancers are going to be performing all day long. So if you are in the downtown Disney/Disney Springs area for St. Patrick's Day this weekend, you can go to actual Raglan Road, which is the most Irish place in Disney Springs, to watch the dancers and get some authentic Irish food. We also had some other food news. Pandora info has been leaking. Like, The View was at Animal Kingdom, and ABC World News did a piece on it, but we're starting to see more of Pandora at Animal Kingdom, and they've announced that there's a couple different places where you can eat. One of them is Satuli Canteen and Drink Station, called Pongu Pongu, which in Na'vi means party party. I'm all for that. They're opening May 27th with the rest of the Pandora area. Satuli Canteen is the former Resources and Development Administration Mess Hall, which was the group of people that went to Pandora originally. It's like in its own little building. There's tons of different foods there. They're not like as out of this world as I thought they were going to be. Like, they're not drastically like exotic or anything like that, but Pongu Pongu has a bunch of different drinks, and many of them light up with bioluminescent features, so if you want a light up drink, you can go there. Same thing as all those glow cubes that everyone has. They'll also have indigenous beers, which I don't know if it's U.S. or world beers that are rebranded for Pandora, but there'll be beers there. And they also have some different sweet items, like they have a blueberry cheesecake that they were talking about on ABC before. So those are going to be the places you can eat at Pandora when it opens this Memorial Day weekend. I don't know how I feel about these restaurants, but I'm sure that I'll go there just to scope them out, see if anything is remotely edible.
I would try their frozen cocktail.
Yeah, the one that they showed for ABC was like it looked like a layered margarita pretty much. It was like a whipped up blended frozen thing, and it had those little like boba balls on top, but it also lit up, so I'm like, if it lights up or it's sparkly, I kind of want it.
I wonder if the cubes are going to be themed specifically for Pandora, or they're going to be the typical
generic
regular ice cubes that they used.
I wonder too, because like, what would they make the specific cube be? Like,
that's what I was thinking.
A Banshee?
I'm not sure.
Like a Banshee clip-on cube, or like, I don't know. But Pandora, May 27th. If you guys are going to be there, please let us know. I'm not that excited about it, Pandora. I just want to see like new stuff at Animal Kingdom, honestly. If it wasn't Pandora themed, I'd be fine. Or Avatar themed, whatever. But yay, new stuff.
Okay, and over at the Contemporary, they have extended the celebration at top. We talked about this a couple weeks ago. It's the party that they're charging $100 per person. at the top of the California Grill for appetizers, drinks, and all that. And they're extending it through September 24th. And reservations can be made on select Sundays through, like I said, the 24th for 07 WDW Dine. And valet parking is included with the cost, as it should be.
Yeah, if you're going somewhere very specific, they should take care of your automobile if you have one. Because, like, some people use Disney transportation, but if I was going to this and I didn't have a car or something, I would take an Uber directly to the front of Bailey Tower and be like, I'm here. Like, I'm not taking a bus or the monorail, sorry.
And Disney has announced this week, I think it was this week or last week, that they're definitely going to do the Arts Festival again. I guess it was a huge hit for next year.
I want to do that paint by numbers wall thing so bad.
Yeah, that looks so fun.
I want to do that so bad.
That looks fun.
Like, it's so stupid to be like, oh, I just want to, like, color in some squares, but, like, you're at Epcot and the mural comes out amazing at the end. Like, why wouldn't you want to be a part of that?
And there's just a couple of Disney artists that I would just love to meet, like Kevin John or Noah.
Yes.
We've got a Kevin John Maui Tiki piece coming.
Oh my god.
Oh, nice. You'll have to post pictures.
Well, this room I'm in now, we're gonna redo it in a tiki theme.
Yes, Tiki is the best theme ever.
It all started with a piece of art.
It all started with a mouse.
And the last thing for me is starting on Sundays over at Rose and Crown, they're going to have a new Sunday roast. And over at Epcot, this is roasted meat, potatoes, vegetables, and Yorkshire pudding. And it's going to alternate between pork, turkey, lamb, mint sauce with traditional sides like roasted potatoes, peas, carrots, sage, onion stuffing, that pudding, and gravy. And again, like I said before, it's only served on Sundays.
That sounds interesting.
It's not my kind of thing, but I know a lot of people who would like that.
When I'm at Disney, I don't ever recognize what day of the week it is. So having to plan for like a Sunday specifically, I would not like pull that. I'd be like, oh, I'm actually going on a Sunday. Maybe I should do like it doesn't factor.
It might be more for locals, maybe.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff they seem to be doing now seems to be geared more towards locals, especially when they announce it a week before it's supposed to happen. Like, who can plan that far?
Like that Star Wars thing at Epcot a while ago.
Yeah, what the heck? I don't know.
I
I don't plan
read an
for
article
Sundays.
last night that Disney announced last night that they're offering DVC members one night to go eat at Markham's in Golden Oaks.
Yeah, which I think that's the first thing that they've connected like park stuff and their new community with. Like they haven't had like any parties or whatever, which I want to go to that community so bad just to look at it. Be like, ooh.
So I.
Like,
Probably kick me out.
I've never been to Celebration either, so I don't know like any of the setup, but Golden Oaks sounds amazing. Yeah.
Okay, so Monday is the first official day of spring for this year.
That's my dad's birthday.
Is it?
Yeah,
oh, happy birthday,
Dad.
And Minnie Mouse isn't going to waste any time. She's going to kick it off with style. Starting that day, Monday the 20th, she's going to have a mini springtime dine, which is going to take place at Hollywood and Vine in Disney's Hollywood Studios. Minnie and her friends will be decked out in their garden party outfits, and guests can expect a menu boasting classic picnic foods with a twist, such as coconut lavender lemonade, springtime salads, barbecue meatballs, buffalo baked chicken, lobster and shrimp mac and cheese, herb roasted pork.
Sorry.
I'll say herb roasted pork sounds great. Hashtag pork.
And desserts such as passion fruit cheesecake, key lime tarts, and banana cream puffs. Now, in case anybody's interested, Stitch's Great Escape in Magic Kingdom's Tomorrowland, which is currently operating only seasonally, will be open from March 13th through March 17th from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. So go get your fast passes.
I was going to say, that might be the shortest Disney season ever. Like, the season is
I don't
March
get
13th.
it. I don't get it. Like, close it or keep it open. Don't
Right.
4 days, really. What is 4 days going to do?
And who's like, oh my gosh, I gotta get there. Like, I understand some people are like, oh, I want to see it before it changes into something else, but, like, are you really gonna spend the, 25 to 30 minutes of, like, being in line and then sitting in there? Like, you're strapped down for something that's not even like a ride. Like, you stay in the same spot, but you're like ratcheted in.
Chili burp.
It does, I don't know, none of it makes sense. And I have no idea how they're planning on turning that into a Wreck-It Ralph ride if that's what they're doing. Like, what is gonna, what?
The rumor is it's gonna be virtual reality.
Oh, okay. I could put some
You're gonna
Gear
sit
VR
in like
head.
what's a simulated one of those candy carts, and then you have the goggles on, and it's gonna simulate a race.
As long as I'm not strapped into my seat, like, I don't need extra protection on, like, leaving my seat. I don't know. Was that like part of the, I never saw Alien, but part of the Alien thing, like you were strapped down because you need to be like safe from the alien?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
It breathed on your neck. It was so scary.
Yeah, very little change in between the two rides. The seat and the restraint system is the same. The alien breathed on your neck instead of getting Stitch's hot dog burp.
Ew.
But the lights went dark, and
yeah, it was scary.
It was a lot better than Stitch.
Yes.
Well, hopefully, if we get Wreck-It Ralph, it will be better than Stitch, because, I mean...
I've never done Stitch, never will.
You're not missing anything.
I did it twice, and one time, literally, I strictly did it because it was so hot outside that, like, I thought I was going to pass out, and it had, like, a 3-minute wait. So I was like, I'm going to go in here, I don't care what happens, it's going to be cold, and that's fine. The other time, it was to see, like, what it actually was, and I was like, wow, what a waste of time and energy. Like, I could have gone on the People Mover for that, and I didn't. What a terrible mistake. But there are some people that like Stitch. I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't get it either.
All right.
Okay, this week we're talking about Disney planning timelines and what you do when you book it, how, in what order, and how you count down your trip.
This has been... Recently, I just hit 200 days for the September trip that we're going on, and at that point, like, it feels like achievement unlocked. That, like, when you're, like, close to your 80 hours, like, or at least my hotel was booked, already had flights. I think this is the earliest that I've ever purchased flights for a trip for, like, so far ahead. I usually wait until, like, maybe 6 to 8 weeks out, because Boston to Orlando flights are usually pretty reasonable regardless of when you book, but I wanted very specific times to leave and return, so I booked it when I did, and I got a pretty good deal, so. But what is the earliest point that you guys consider booking a trip? Like, how far out you're like, hey, I want to go in, like, I don't know, October of 2018. Like, how do you pick when you're going?
Well, as far as actually planning or thinking about it?
Booking. Yeah.
Booking. Like, you're like, I'm going to Disney World at this time. I'm going to do this to make sure it happens.
We before we joined DVC, we would book right as that window opened. I forgot what it was. Was it 15 months, I think? 15 months in advance? Something like that?
So 499 days is the technical Disney term for when the earliest you can book room only. So if you just wanted to book your room, 499 days from check-in is when you're able to. I don't know if that extends into, like, 499 days plus 8 if you wanted to book, or, like, it's just, like, the one night at a time. But that's the earliest that you can possibly book a room on Disney property, not including tickets, not including anything else, just the room.
Yeah, we used to go right as soon as that window opened.
Oh.
Yeah, for Wyndham Timeshare, I think we have 10 months, so we usually do whenever that window is 10, 11 months is when they let you. And Bonnet Creek's pretty popular, so we have to, like, I need to tell my in-laws the date so they can book us our thing still.
And now that you have DVC, with your home resort, you have a certain time window, and if you're booking somewhere else, it's a different time window, right?
It is 11 months for your home resort and 7 months for any other resort.
See, 11 months is still, like, too short for me. Is that weird? Like,
yeah, it's scary.
Yeah.
It's like when I used to just be 11 months out and you got a book. And this trip where we're staying actually at Animal Kingdom Lodge, so it was 7 months, and I was panicking. I was like, I don't know if we're going to get a room because it's race weekend.
Right, that gives me anxiety, and I don't even have DVC. Like, the DVC booking windows freak me out. I want to be able to know, like, what room I'm getting, where I'm going to be staying, like, way ahead of time, because for people who don't know, which if you're listening, you probably should, but if you don't know, staying on Disney property has certain perks that you get, if you're not staying on property, you don't get extra magic hours, you don't get magic bands, and all these other fun things. So being able to stay on Disney property and booking that room when you're able to, that like solidifies that you're going to Disney and staying on property and having that room for you. If you book room only and you want to switch to a package, including tickets and dining if you want to, you have to switch from room only to a package, but usually when you call, they'll like hold your room for you and then switch you to a package so you don't lose that spot. Because if you book a certain category, like, you don't want to lose that if you're switching to a package. Like, if you had theme park view at the Polynesian, you don't want to like book it as room only and then switch to a package and then be stuck with like standard. Like, nobody wants that.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Yeah, so right now I'm booked for a trip in September and also December. I booked my package, my flights, and all that stuff at probably like the 260-day mark of checking in for September. December was booked almost at 365 days. Like, I think I booked it the week after we would be staying there. But that was package 2 because they announced packages for the next year. They usually announce it like July. So if you want to go in 2018 with a package, July of this year, they should probably announce it for next year and you have the whole year to pick from. But if you want to go room only and then do everything like a la carte, like tickets and dining, if you don't want to do dining plan, you can just pay out of pocket. You can book at 499 days, which I think I'm going to do that for January of next year.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the fall rates to come out because we're staying one night at a Disney hotel, so I'm waiting for the annual pass holder discount thing to come out.
Which is annoying because they don't announce it like very far in advance.
I know.
No. Look at everything else they do.
Well,
I know, right?
Right now it is March 15th. For the September trip, we have like September hours on the Disney site are booked through the 21st right now. That's like when they're available. You can read them. So even I'm at 195 days. That's pretty close to 180 days. There's no October dates. There's no Rivers of Light packages announced. There's no like solid hours for September for the time that we're going. So it's kind of cutting it close, which to me gives me anxiety because Disney like should know their schedule like
right
at least 2 years in advance. Like, it's not hard. Like, you've been doing it for how long?
Meg, you would not like Disneyland because
I
had
would
to
not.
book my ADRs
yeah.
2 weeks before. It was 2 weeks before, and that's when I had to book my ADRs because there was a screw up with their website.
I would cry at Disneyland.
That gave me anxiety.
Yeah, I would freak out to the point where, like, literally, I'm not trying to kid with you. The only way that I think I can go to Disneyland is if I go with Kate and she, like, takes care of everything because I won't be able to handle it. I think I can do Legacy Fast Pass again, but, like, the ADR is so close. And, nope, it freaks me out. Same
Yeah,
thing.
we used a travel agent, so we
rid
didn't
of
have to deal with it.
See, that makes so much sense. Same thing with DVC rental, though. Like, I'm so freaked out about timelines. Like, I don't know if I can do it. I want to so bad, but it's like...
Yeah, we have a few mutual friends that were renting for a upcoming trip, and just watching them go through it, are they going to get the points? Is it going to go through? It was just, I couldn't deal with that.
Right? I would be literally shaking the whole... I'd be like, I don't know what's going on. I like the idea of being able to be in control of my reservation, and that's part of the reason why I like booking packages. People are like, oh, you can save so much money if you don't get... It doesn't matter. It's a convenience thing for me. That, like, everything is all put together in, like, its own little pocket, and it's, like, all set up. I love that. So with packages, you can't really book a package until they announce a package for the next year, which is usually, like I said, in July. So if you're going in, like, January of the next year, you have to wait till July to, like, get your package. But some things you can do at the year mark if you already booked your room only, I guess. Fort Wilderness does 365 days ahead of time. You can book a golf cart for there if you're staying there. So if you are you went 499 days out, you booked like a campground reservation and you needed a golf cart, you can call Disney at the 1 year mark and say, hey, I want a golf cart, and you can rent one from them. That's like the most random thing to reserve that far out, but that is how Disney's like golf cart system works.
Yeah, that is a little weird.
Like, out of all the things for your vacation, you just like solidify you got to call for that golf cart. You can obviously rent from a different like off-site vendor, but if you're booking through Disney, Disney's golf carts rent 365 days out because apparently they're super popular. I've never booked there, but I would like to, and I don't know if I would have a golf cart or not.
One of our dreams is to eventually get a camper, and probably when we retire, and camp at Fort Wilderness with a camper and a golf cart, because I want to be in that parade. In the Halloween parade.
You're reading my life story. Like, all of that is what I want to do. So, speaking of days-wise, the 7-month DVC window is 210 days, which is shorter than when I booked. I booked, like I said, like 250, 260 or whatever. That's like, when I went in 2015, I booked like less than 6 months out, and I was freaking out about it. Like, I can't, that's too short of a window for me to book a trip. So I think 200 or so days is like right where I go for booking trips, unless I want something very specific, like a very particular room category at a specific restaurant or a specific resort. But 210 days, that's 7 months for DVC. If you can book at DVC, or if you want to rent points, they have like differentials on particular resorts based on their popularity or whatever. So, but the biggest, I think, date that is most important from your trip, it goes from the date that you check in, and there are multiple calendars and calculators online. If you go and say, oh, I need 180 days before this date, it will calculate it for you. It will tell you exactly when you need to focus on your stuff. But 180 days before your trip at Disney World, you should have your hotel booked, your flights, hopefully, maybe, unless you're driving. If a package is happening, a package, definitely. But like, you should have your ticket media all sorted out if you can. There are multiple ways to save on ticket media if you're booking room only. But 180 days is like the cutoff, I think. I don't feel comfortable booking a trip in less than 180 days.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, do you
I like randomly 2 years ago, a month before I went down in September, I planned a Disney World trip, and then 2 weeks later after that, we went to Disneyland.
Oh my gosh, I want to go to Disneyland so bad. Stop. That's the thing. I have no idea what the timetable would be for a Disneyland trip. Like, I would just be like, I'm in California. Let's hope for the best.
Well, you can walk to Disneyland for most of the hotels, and you don't even have to stay. Like, Disneyland Hotel starts at like $500 a night. There's no way I could afford to stay there.
Yeah, there was no way we were staying at the Disneyland Hotel or the Grand Californian before we came to DVC.
Holy moly. Yeah, I don't care where I stay in California.
Yeah, how was Paradise Pier?
Paradise Pier was okay. It was nice. It was nothing. I mean, it wasn't themed enough, I think, for me, for it to be considered a Disney hotel. They just had like some artwork in the rooms. The comforter was Disney themed. In the lobby, they had the Goofy statue with the surfboard, like they have over at Pop.
Mm-hmm.
And that was pretty much it. I mean, it really didn't seem like a Disney hotel.
So it was kind of generic.
Yeah. The only good thing was it was right across the street from Grand Californian, and we could use the Grand Californian's entrance to DCA.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I saw that.
Part.
I was like, that's sweet.
That is a sweet
I didn't realize the hotel was like right there next to Soarin' or whatever.
Yes, it literally, the entrance from Grand California into DCA is right in Grizzly Falls? I think the area
Grizzly
is.
Run, yeah.
It's literally, the Rapids ride is right across the street. The Rapids attraction is right across the entrance.
I want to go to Disneyland so bad. But
You have to do it.
dude, seriously. I mean, I might drive there.
You only need like 4 days
no.
to do it.
I mean,
That's a long drive.
But there's no tent camping at Disneyland, so it wouldn't pay off. I go all the way and be like, I have to stay at a stupid hotel? Come on.
Tent sitting on Harper Boulevard.
Yeah, I'll be like, oh, I'm homeless. Check this out. I just park my car. But I don't know. I wouldn't know how many days to plan out for a Disney trip or Disneyland trip. Like Disney World, it seems so like regimented and like you follow the steps and then you're there. Like 180 days, you book so much stuff, like, that's kind of like the window that people are looking to work in, I guess.
Disneyland seems so chaotic compared to
I agree.
now the structured planning that you need to go to Walt Disney World.
There's
Disneyland
a lot more
is
attractions, too, at Disneyland than Magic Kingdom.
yeah.
But you have Legacy Fast Pass, so you need to run all over the place to get them.
Oh, that was weird, too, having the Legacy Fast Passes.
Ugh,
I miss it.
old school.
This is weird. Mark never let me talk about Disneyland this much.
And I've never been, so I like that there's more people who have been
He's
that haven't
never
been.
and he would always talk badly about Disneyland.
Disney World snobs. I love
Yeah.
Disneyland. And it's funny because people ask, well, which one do you like better? You can't compare the two. Even though they're kind of similar, they're so different.
I like Disneyland better, but you're right, they're so different.
Walt Disney World is more immersive. You're in that bubble.
See, I like the comfort of the bubble,
So do
whereas
I.
Disneyland feels, at least from what I've heard and what I've heard other people talking about, it's kind of like a Six Flags where it feels like you're still in the real world. There's just a theme park in the middle of everything.
Well, yeah, because even like we stayed at Paradise Piers, we had to cross the street to get into the hotel, the Grand California, to get into the park that way, or walk around to the main entrance through downtown Disney. And it always seemed like,
Why am I in the city trying to go to a park that's Disney
Right.
related? Weird.
it was weird. But once you're in there, I mean, it's great. You don't see anything outside.
Yeah. I'm still a stickler that I don't like that you can see the Contemporary from Tomorrowland, but either way.
I don't like it.
I'm like, oh, this is awful. Someone put up something. But 180 days, that seems to be like a very big sticking point for Disney World vacations. Number one thing that people book at that time frame is dining. And there are some people who freak out about having to book their dining 6 months in advance. They hate the concept. They're like, I don't know what I'm going to eat in 6 months. I don't know where I want to go to. I don't even know what's going on. I'm like, that's not how this works, unfortunately. There's not a lot of places in your life when you're required to pick your meal that far out, or where you want to go at least for a meal that far out. But if you get invited to a wedding that's 4 or 5 months out, and they ask you, do you want steak or chicken or vegetarian? You have to pick and then go with it. People have no problem with that, but for some reason, 180 days or 6 months out from your Disney vacation, you have no idea where you want to eat. I know where I want to eat before I even book my trip, so...
We should probably tell everybody we were all nerds. Me, Tim, Adam, and Megveg all got on Skype a couple weeks ago and planned out our ADR.
Yes,
together.
because
Yes,
it's
which
important.
we can't make for another couple of days. Well, a couple of weeks.
Right?
Yeah.
It's important. It's in my regular life, I don't plan or think about lunch or dinner ahead of time. But when I'm at Disney World, your whole day can be based off of the flow of when you eat or where you're eating or what restaurants you're at. So you need to think about that first. I think that's the cement part. And then that and your park days, which depends on the hours, which are not usually available this far out because we're still waiting for the first part of October and even the end of September. But park hours and dining go together. Once you have the park hours and you know where you want to eat, you can start plugging in what goes where, what days you're going places.
I book my trip around the ADRs I can get, and then that day, that's the park we go to. That's the way I plan it.
Yeah. See, you're I'm eating here, and then the rest of the day goes like this.
Well, that's the way you have to, because the park hours aren't open, so you don't know really where...
But you
You're gonna
know
end
that
up.
they're going to be serving food.
Right, you know where you're going to eat,
regardless.
so you got to be around that resort or that park at that time.
Yeah, and there's a couple of different things with dining, with what we're doing, Rivers of Light package, or Fantastic package, or Candlelight Processional if you're going that time of the year, or stuff like that. You need to plan according to that. The dining is based off of what's going on in the park. So it's involved. So if you're going to Candlelight Processional, you're going to have to book an ADR for something that's involved with it if that's what you're planning on doing. And regardless of what the park hours are, you know that the meal is going to happen and you know that the show is going to happen. So that's what you, those are the solid figures you have to work with. That's what you need to book off of. Like, so what if they change, like, extra magic hours in the morning or night, or change the hours at the beginning or the end of the day? Like, as long as you know that you're eating at a certain time, the hours for the restaurants rarely change. Rarely. Like, they have set time periods when they serve breakfast, they serve lunch, they serve dinner. So you can base your trip off of those parts rather than being like, oh, well, maybe I'll do... No, you can't maybe it, unfortunately. Or maybe some people can. I can't. I have to find
And I
out.
obsess over looking at menus over and over and
Yeah.
over.
Well, you gotta be careful with that too, because depending on how far out your trip is, the menus may change per season. So if you have your trip booked before, like right now, I'm tempted to go on the website and look at the menus now, but I know between now and fall, some of it's gonna change.
Yeah, because I remember you told me I had to get that one item at Monsieur Paul. When I asked the waiter
Carrot
for it, he looked at me like I was crazy, and I was like, okay.
I hope it's there because we have. I think we're gonna do an ADR in September. For that, I know we have it coming up for our April trip, but hopefully we can get it again for September.
I
So I
have
love
been
that carrots.
literally having an internal battle about Kona, whether I want the Tonga toast or the macadamia nut pancakes. And literally, I'm at 195 days. Like, I'm thinking about food that I'm going to be eating, like, months and months from now. And I'm, like, concerned about it in a real way. And it's so weird. But it's also, like, part of the thing that I do with the dining plan, like getting a package, it feels all inclusive. So like the dining credit matching up to the food, like that matters to me. And being able to be like, I'm gonna have this in like 86 days. Like I'm gonna talk about it after.
It keeps your excitement up.
Yeah. Like Kate, every time you talk about steak, I find
Which is all the time. This is not a vegan podcast.
Kate talks about steak and I talk about pig products. So anytime Kate's like, oh, I had this steak and it was really great, I literally go to the menu and I'm like, I could really have that steak. That sounds really good. I can't tell you how many times I've looked at the flying fish menu and read the pork belly, like, description.
Oh my god.
I'm like, well, about that pork belly that I'm absolutely going to ingest.
I would kill to have that pork belly again. It was so good.
I'm so excited. And like,
And I'm not a big fan of pork belly, but that one, it was melt in your mouth, delicious. It was so good.
yay! So like, it sounds stupid to be, well, okay, some people go on vacation like on cruises or they go to like wherever, and they usually book like probably 4 months out or whatever. The 6-month mark at Disney is such a big deal that like, that's when I feel like, oh my god, like I'm actually going to Disney. Like things are happening, things are booked, I have food that I want to eat, I'm going to these parks, whatever. The 180-day mark I think is a big deal. For people who know about Disney. For people who don't know what they're doing, like, sorry, they missed it.
I get that all the time. Some friends will say, I need help with this and that. I don't know, what places to eat, what places to do. I said, when are you going? Oh, in 3 weeks? I was like, what?
No.
I just had a message from a friend yesterday saying they were going to Disney and they didn't know what places would be good to eat. I said, well, when are you going? She's like, April 20th. I'm like, good luck. Better get on the phone now and see what's left and take whatever they have.
You sent this message about 5.5 to 6 months
Tony's.
too late. Not Tony's. Never Tony's.
Well, they're on the meal plan, so they have to take whatever they can get, or at this point, or they're going to waste the meal credit.
Yeah. Yikes. Yikes.
We don't do the meal plan anymore.
But, side note for people who are renting DVC or use DVC, you can still get the dining plan if you want it. You guys choose not to.
Yeah, we choose not to because the times that we go now, there's so many hard ticket events that we like to do that we'll end up with extra credits anyway.
Right.
But between the DVC discount, the AP discount, the Chase Visa discount, it doesn't pay. We save money with all the discounts.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
I figured it out before, and it was more expensive to do that. And plus, I think they make you choose certain things, and I want to eat whatever I want.
What, on the meal plan?
Yeah.
No, you can choose whatever you want on the meal plan.
But you only get, like,
an entree, dessert, and an alcoholic
I
drink.
just want to be able to eat whatever I want. At California Grill, I'm sorry.
Yeah, California Grill, I'm getting an appetizer, an entree, and a dessert. And a couple of
Yes.
Right, yeah. The things that I want to eat are usually pretty basic. I've never really done, like, an extravagant meal. Like, I think, other than Le Cellier, which I don't really consider signature anymore, because, like, it's so...
No.
Yeah, it's not, yeah. Like, going to Tiffin's and going to Flying Fish, like, that's, like, high-end dining for me. That's...
Tiffin's is right under California Grill, in my opinion.
I've never been to California Grill.
I love both of those restaurants. They're my two favorite restaurants on property.
Yay!
Us too.
Because it has real food, right? Not just, like,
we need to get
food.
Megbag to eat the octopus. It was good. It's an appetizer. It's grilled octopus. It's very good.
When Adam had that, I just looked at his plate. I'm like, I'm over here eating my bread because I had the bread service, and he's got this octopus just sitting on his plate. I'm like, okay.
Right? And now I'm dead. Like, yeah.
He said it was really good. It was they served it in the ink sauce. They make a sauce out of the ink.
I've had squid ink raviolis before, and they weren't bad, but, like, there was no seafood in the dish. It was just raviolis with squid ink. Not like chunks of squid. But who knows? I'm really excited for Tiffin's because Animal Kingdom having a signature restaurant, that's kind of a big deal, I think.
Their signature drinks are really good too.
High Tower Rocks was
I was going to say the High Tower Rocks is the top of my list.
I like
and then there's a hibiscus one.
Zing.
Yep.
I like that one.
All of the above. That's another thing with dining plan. When I go there, I can just tap my magic band, have my food taken care of, and I only have to pay for drinks and tax and tip, really. So I'm cool with that.
We had friends that were just there, and they were at the Nomad Lounge, and I sent them a text message. I said, "You have to get a High Tower Rocks," and they ordered the High Tower Rocks. It's like, "Oh my god, that was so delicious."
That is pretty good too.
That's been the number one drink that I've heard repeated throughout the whole Disney sphere about at Tiffin's what drink to get is the High Tower Rocks. And that's like literally on my list. Yay! Refreshing and Animal Kingdom sounds like the perfect combination because Animal Kingdom is like sticky and hot and blah. So that makes it work, but there's a bunch of other stuff at 180 Days. If anybody does any of this stuff, I've never done any of these, but Cirque du Soleil, which is leaving at the end of this year, P.S. If you want to do that, book it 180 days out. Grand Gatherings, I've never done one. I don't have that many people in my family that would go to Disney World. Usually, they have tickets for special events out this far at 180 days, like Mickey's Not So Scary, Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. Like I said, we're at like 195 days or so till September, and no Mickey's Not So Scary has been announced yet at all.
I don't know if we're going.
The goal for me is I'm going the first night that I land there, because I've never been before, but if there's not one on that night, like, I don't think I'm going at all, which is kind of whack. Because I wanted to do Mickey's Not So Scary and Mickey's Very Merry in the same year, but they haven't announced the dates. They haven't announced annual pass holder discount dates. None of that. Like, nothing. And it's kind of
My
close.
friends always go to the last Halloween party, and they get to go to the first Christmas party.
That's my dream trip. Probably not next year, maybe the year after. But those things, I think, I've said it a million times, that Mickey's Not So Scary and Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party should have their dates finalized between now and, like, 2025, because Halloween doesn't move, Christmas doesn't move. Like, you know what days you're going to have them. Just post it and be done with it.
Right.
Like, why do you wait until the last minute? You know that this year Halloween is on a Tuesday. Like, figure it out. Just look at a calendar. Like, what the hell? It makes me so mad. Because if I was running it, I would already know Mickey's Not So Scary dates from now until, like, when I die. So, like, just use a...
You can pretty much guess them, because historically they've been on the same nights.
So special events like that. Recreation, if you're doing any, like, parasailing or fishing excursions or anything like that, like doing the Sammy Duval stuff, that's usually booked at 180 days. I don't know anyone who's purposely been like, I'm doing that on my trip. Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutiques at 180 days. Also spas. The spas at Grand Floridian and other resorts take reservations that far out. And also the dessert parties is at 180 days if you want your particular date, you have to book it online and or calling. So,
I forget how long you have to take for the firework cruises.
All of those fireworks cruises are 180 days out. Same thing with tea times if you're planning on going golfing. With fishing boats, if you want to fish Bay Lake or anything. Also, surfing lessons at the water park. If you want to do the early, it's like 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. surfing at water parks, you have to book 180 days out for the day that you're going. I don't think they let you extend that one for your trip. Like if you book it 180 days and have 10 days, you have to call at the 180-day mark for surfing lessons. So good luck with that if that's what you're interested in. I don't know anyone, again, who has booked surfing lessons.
Maybe a local. That would be about it.
The only time I think that I would ever do this if it was like my birthday, which even then, like there's other things I would be doing. And I'm not.
We live kind of near to this indoor water park at Massanutten Ski Park, and they offer surfing lessons there, but it's this tiny little surfing pool.
Well, good luck. We actually have a pond for you to like hang out in. It's just only about 15 feet across, but that's nuts.
And since I stay off site, I normally can't make fast passes until 30 days.
That would make me nuts.
How does that affect your fast pass choice? Did you ever get where you can't get one?
No, I get to work at 7 o'clock in the morning, so if I can't get one, it usually takes me like 2 weeks, 3 weeks to get what I want, but I usually get all the fast passes I want. Okay. And as the closer your date gets, they release more and more fast passes.
Oh, that's helpful.
We actually had a reservation for Tiffin's in April, and after we made the reservation, they released the dining package with a meal at Tiffin's and a seat at Rivers of Light. But the choice to eat, the reservation to eat was like at 4 o'clock. It's like I'm not eating dinner at 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
So we just, as soon as we hit it, we went online and we got fast passes. And we just went to the regular dinner at like 5, I think it's like 5:45, and then...
Don't worry, I've been freaking out about that a lot the past few days.
Yeah, when we went to Tiffin's, we could only get a 2:30, so we just had like dinner. Because we really wanted to eat there. Because we were supposed to go to Mama Melrose, and you and Adam convinced us we needed to cancel Mama Melrose to go to Tiffin's.
Oh, yeah, there's no comparison. Tiffin's
There's no need to see Mama Melrose at all. So.
Never been there.
But, yeah, with the Rivers of Light package, you have a restriction where you have to be there 3 hours before showtime. But with showtimes going forward, there's 2 shows a night, and they're going to be later. So I'm hoping that, the show will be at 9, which means that 6 o'clock is available for eating. So We'll see. Again, 195 days out, don't know park hours, don't know Rivers of Light packages, don't know Mickey's Not So Scary. Disney, what the heck is going on? I would have already had all of this stuff taken care of if I was there, but...
Yeah, I'm waiting for the party for the census to be announced.
Yeah, what the heck, Disney? You know it's going to happen. Just say it. Also, they know who's going to be playing for each of the beat and stuff, because Hanson just announced their 25th anniversary tour dates. And
I feel old now.
Oh, dude, I almost puked when I read it. I was like, nope.
You were one of those little girls jumping to Bop, weren't you?
Dude, I can't believe, oh my god. But they're playing, all the way through October, and everyone's like, oh, this must mean that they'll be at each of the beat in November. I'm like, yeah, so if they have this posted and they're saying it, you know who's playing those weekends. You know park hours. You know everything. Just post it. What is the holdup?
They probably had it all planned since the end of last year's.
I know. I would too if I was them, but they won't post it. And even then people are like, oh, hours change. I'm like, I understand, but at least if I have a rough idea, it's better than no idea at all.
They like to keep us on the edge of our seats.
It doesn't make me want to book with them any faster. Annoys the crap out of me, but...
If they have that Party of Senses on another day other than Saturday, I would go to it.
Only on Saturdays.
Oh, I don't want to miss Jerry's event, so... Oh well.
Nap time.
Well, depending on how late it is, we will probably show up probably drunk.
Good, hey, I'm here.
Oh, you should try and make it.
Now I have to go because I broke my glass from last year, so I have to get another one.
Yes. That's like my planning. I'm like, oh no, my
You could pay
Tigger
one
has
of
a
those
broken
Disney
neck.
buyers to get you one.
Oh my god.
You know those,
and
you know those
spend
Disney
$1,000 on it.
resellers? Yeah.
Except for instead of getting it for like your entrance fee, you're gonna have to pay a mortgage to get one. So.
Yeah, pay my mortgage payment and I'll get you a Disney glass.
So it's almost 180 days or so until September, and Party for the Census hasn't been announced.
Last year I think they announced it in April.
Okay. So
Because
right
I know
around,
the
120 or so days. 100 and
the menus and everything were announced first, and then the Party for the Census was announced, and then like a week later was when everybody had to call to book their.
I'm still waiting for them to announce Food and Wine Festival menus, which we'll have to wait till like the middle of the summer for that. Garbage.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
hey,
that'll probably
everybody,
be
come
right
and visit
after,
our
right
resort.
when Flower and Garden ends.
It's like, oh, hey everyone, come book here, but we don't know what we're going to feed you yet. P.S. For this giant festival that everybody goes to. Whatever.
You know it's going to be good.
Yeah, hopefully.
I mean, most of it always stays the same.
Yeah.
There's only a few little changes here and there every year, but.
So after all of that, the next kind of benchmark that people have to deal with is 60 days. If you're staying on site, which Kate doesn't get to handle really, 60 days on site, you can book your fast passes for your trip, what parks, what days, 3 fast passes per park. If you use them all, you can book more, you can switch your park and book more. I haven't been able to use switching fast passes or booking new ones on the app yet, and I'm really excited to see how it works.
It's amazing. We did it a bunch of times.
Yeah, we did it last trip.
Yeah, I can't wait to do that because the last time I went, I was with my brother. We did all of our fast passes at Animal Kingdom, went to Hollywood Studios, went immediately to the Fast Pass Plus kiosk and got more fast passes, or one fast pass, whatever. And I like that system, but if I can do it from my phone while I'm like on a bus or in an Uber or walking, like that's far more beneficial.
When the MDE app works, it's great because we've even switched and canceled ADRs on it.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. When it works.
Yeah, when it works. Yeah, the Wi-Fi at Disney is not the best. Not really at all.
Well, do you have AT&T? Because that's all the towers that are at Disney World.
I have AT&T.
I never have issues at Disney.
I never have issues either. But
Word.
like the app,
I have an iPhone, though.
I have an Android.
when you're not in the parks, the app seems to act up.
When you're not in the parks?
Yeah.
Oh, well,
Like, I can pull it up now, and I don't know what's going to be open now at 8 o'clock, but it'll be show like weird wait times or no wait times, and
yeah.
I never have an issue with it in the park.
I've never had to use the app in the parks really, but I'm excited for when my phone will actually, like, I have service everywhere and I'll be able to use it in the parks to change stuff or update ADRs, because that's a good way to not get charged for not being at an ADR. If you change your time from like 6:50 p.m. on a Tuesday to Wednesday at 5, then you can cancel without a $10 thing. So
yeah, and we've also made last minute ADRs. Like, we realized we have a spot open, and we're like, hey, let's go have breakfast here, or let's go see if we can get a lunch here.
that sounds amazing. What is the booking window for ADRs and stuff when you book DVC? Like, do you guys have a regular annual pass or a DVC annual pass, or?
We have I forgot what annual pass we have. I think it's the gold.
But did you buy it with like a DVC discount, or is it just like a straight up?
No, we bought it with the DVC discount.
Okay, so.
And then we bought it when they offered the 13th month.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I have.
Because it's paying for this trip and it's paying for September and October's trip. So we had already had our park tickets purchased, and Disney, at the time, Disney was offering DVC members, I think it was 4 days, buy 4 days, get one free. So we had that, and then when we got there, we just upgraded and paid the difference to the annual pass.
That's what I'm doing on my trip. I I should have bought my annual pass like months ago, but, planning is awful. But for my September trip, I have 9 days booked for room, but 10 days booked for tickets. I will go to, when I land in Florida, I'll go to my hotel, drop my stuff off, go to Magic Kingdom, upgrade to an annual pass, and then go from there. And then I'll have it for, my December trip is already booked as a ticket list package. Like, it has dining, has room, but no ticket, because I'll have an annual pass, my mom will have her own ticket, so I didn't need to book it as that type of package, but yay, upgrading, because I like the idea of being able to pay off my package before I get there and not have to worry about, any of that stuff when I show up. And then getting an annual pass holder discount on all the other stuff.
Oh, yeah,
it does save a lot, especially when you're eating in a lot of signature restaurants like we do.
Is it still 20%?
At a lot of them. Not all of them. Like California Grow is 10%. Flying Fish was 20%. Tiffin's was 20%.
Does annual pass holder
Brown
discount...
Derby was 20%, I think.
Does annual pass holder discount include alcohol or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Because I know that Tables in Wonderland does, which may/may not work out for some people. I've done the math, it doesn't work for me at all.
We didn't bother with Tables in Wonderland. We were going to do it until they announced the 20% discount on the AP, and then they were also offering 20% on DVC, so we could use either discount and still get the same thing. And it worked out, we did the math, and it worked out to be even better for us doing just the discounts instead of paying for Tables in Wonderland.
With DVC, do you get a card like annual pass holders get to show them? Be like, hey.
Yeah.
Cool! They should all
Get
put
a
down your
membership
magic
card.
band so no one has to worry about it.
If you buy direct, you get a membership card. Resale doesn't get one.
Ooh, and resale's getting all of their perks taken away.
I think they're eventually going to try to crack down on the resale market to where they kind of force people to buy.
Mm-hmm.
I remember a guy I used to work with, he was trying to sell his Animal Kingdom Lodge DVC, but he wanted like $20,000.
How many points did he have?
I didn't
expensive.
ask. We're not DVC people because we get the free timeshare from my in-laws, but...
Can't wait to do a DVC episode and hear all of the tips and tricks and info from you guys, because, it's like... I want to know about it, and I kind of know about it, but I want to know, from people who actually are in it. You know what I'm saying? I can't wait to do a DVC episode. Oh, and I want to talk about renting points, because I've never done it, but I desperately want to. So bad.
We could have... You've never rented points, right?
No, I've never rented points.
Oh,
yeah. Jerry and his wife just did. We could have him on and ask him about that.
I desperately want to rent points in Animal Kingdom Lodge because my mom is like, I want to wake up and have coffee with giraffes. I'm like, okay, we can do that. I just need to do some planning first to make it happen.
We're staying there in April. The first time, I can't wait.
It's so nice. I've stayed there before. Savannah View. It was amazing.
We didn't do Savannah View, but typically we get lucky and get upgraded when we go, so I'm kind of crossing my fingers for Savannah View.
I want to stay at Wilderness Lodge, Animal Kingdom, and Bay Lake Tower. Those are the must-dos as soon as possible.
Yeah, I think in September we're staying at the Poly again. That's the only time we've ever repeated a resort.
I love the Polynesian so much.
So do I. My favorite resort.
I don't get the Polynesian.
I love it, dude.
Why?
Because granted, we walked past the rooms in 2012 when we went to the cheesy luau, but we looked into the rooms, and the rooms looked very, old.
Well, the regular rooms do look a little dated, but the DVC rooms are gorgeous.
Okay.
Look up a DVC room.
Okay, I haven't seen the difference then.
The rain shower...
Ooh.
The rain shower.
Yeah, Jerry and Simone were just talking about that on their last travel podcast with Jillian, but yeah.
I stayed...
Wait, you gotta say the whole name. Do you know the whole name?
I forget the name.
It's long. I can't say it.
It's long. That's not the name of the podcast. It's the name of the name. I feel like renting DVC points will get me those views that I want for less money. Especially if you have car resorts.
We never rented points, and I actually didn't even realize that was an option back then. And it's the best way to get that luxury feeling of the deluxe resorts at moderate prices.
Yep, that's the goal. And when I have my annual pass, it'll be so much easier because I don't have to worry about that whole chunk of planning. I'll just have the room part to worry about, really, and food, which is fine. And then fast passes, which I'll get at... Okay, so if you book rented points at DVC, are you at the 60-day window or 30 days?
It's a 60-day same.
Okay, cool. So
everything's the same.
Yay!
But I think how it works is it has to coordinate between the rental, if you go to a rental company, and the actual owners of the points.
Right.
All three of you have to coordinate and work together to get all your ducks in a row and get all your things booked.
Right.
Which would freak me out. I couldn't rely on somebody else to do.
See, again, I like being in control of my vacation. 60 days, Kate likes to go to Brown Derby. If you want to do dining with an Imagineer, you book it 60 days. At Hollywood Brown Derby, they have...
My friend's done it before, but he's a super engineer nerd, but he loved it.
It sounds amazing. I don't know if I would appreciate it more than other people, but I would like to do it. Carriage rides at Fort Wilderness are 60 days if you are looking for that. And usually if you are booking a Walt Disney World travel company package with room, tickets, and or dining, whatever, you can around 60 days. I've heard as short as 50 days, as much as 75 days, but you can start doing online check-in where you provide a credit card number with a PIN and all that fun, your room reservation or your room requests and all that stuff at 60 days. So when you check in, you can get a text message saying your room is ready and just go directly to your room and skip checking in, which depends on when you're checking in, but I've always gone to the desk regardless, so...
I like going to the desk.
Me too!
Yeah.
It makes it feel like you're actually on vacation. Like you're checking into a hotel, the cast member is excited, you're excited, everyone's getting their pins if they need them, and all. I love it. Love it. Checking in at the desk is the best part, I think.
You're more likely to get requests, too, if you check in at the desk.
Yep, and if you're getting upgrades, that would be the place to get it. If you do your online check-in, most people are just assigned a room literally 2 days in advance, and what you get is ta-da, there you go.
Yeah. Our last trip we got upgraded to concierge level at Poly.
Nice. Well, that's because you went through hell to get to your hotel.
Yeah, she felt bad for us, and our room wasn't ready. We got there at 9 o'clock at night, and they said our room wasn't ready.
I would have cried.
That's ridiculous.
If I cry, will I get a better room? Because, it doesn't really matter. I'm staying at Pop Century in the standard room, but if my room wasn't ready at 9 p.m., I would be distraught, to say the least. After all, we're doing now, all the planning, all the counting down, all the getting ready, and you show up and they're like, haha, just kidding, your room's not ready.
Especially we flew from Newark to Houston to Tampa, and then we rented a car and drove from Tampa to Orlando, and we get there and our room's not ready. No.
See? No. Oh, gosh, that sounds like the worst thing ever. But, yeah, so check in online at 60 days if you don't want an upgrade. Because they usually set you ahead of time. They just put you in a room and hope for the best. But after 60 days, you you have your ADR set, hopefully. Your Fast Pass is hopefully set if you're on premise. If not, you gotta wait till the 30-day mark. But before that, if you have a package that is booked through Walt Disney World Travel Company, and you put the $200 deposit down, you have a room, tickets, dining, or not dining, whatever, you have to have your entire vacation paid off before 45 days prior to your check-in date. Disney's kind of lenient with this time frame. You can kind of do 46 to 47 days, if whatever, but 45 days is when you need to be paid off. And even if you're not staying on property, not booked with a package and all that, I think this is a good time frame for you to have all of your ducks in a row to begin with. If you're booking other ways, like having your hotel paid or money for it set or your tickets purchased or anything like that, if you're staying off site, 45 days is hey, you're going to Disney World. There very soon, and you should be ready for it. This is
Because
like
around the
crunch
30
time.
or 25 day mark is when you start getting your Magical Express tags if you're using Magical Express and your Magic Bands.
Yes, you have to customize your magic bands before they send them, but this is like the solidifying moment. When you get your magic bands in the mail and you're staying on property or whatever, you look at them and you're like, oh my gosh, like, I'm going to be at Disney World soon. And I'm staying there for a while, whether it's a day or 2 days or 4 days or 10 days or whatever. Magic bands, getting them in the mail, it's like, holy crap, this is real, which is the best.
Ours should be here any day now for our April trip.
Please post pictures because I got to see Magic Band 2.0 in real life the other day. I went to one of my very good friends, Teresa. I went to her house with her mom, Nancy, because she made me a really nice blanket for St. Patrick's Day. And they're going to Disney in like probably like 10 days or so from now. So like the end of March. And they got their Magic Band, the new Magic Bands, Magic Band 2.0, and I'd never seen them. And she took them out, and I looked at them, and I was like, oh my gosh. When you get them in the mail, they do not come with the screwdriver for the inside of them. You only get the screwdriver if you purchase a Magic Band 2.0 accessory. So
Yes.
like the necklace or the lanyard thingy, whatever it is, or if you purchase like the carabiner thing, those come with the little tool to remove the icon from your 2.0, but you don't get it with your regular resort package magic bands that send. So
Now, Kate, you stay at Wyndham. Do you buy Magic Bands?
Last trip, we stayed one night at French Quarter, and so we had our magic bands for free because we stayed one night there. But no, I've never paid for a magic band.
So if you don't stay that one night on Disney property, would you just get like a key card?
No, we would get magic bands.
Okay.
This past trip was Marsh's first time, and he loved it. He doesn't want to go back to the cards.
And then this trip, you're staying one night at a resort, so you get magic bands, and then you'll have Wyndham after.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, you're
magic
annual
bands.
pass. You're annual pass holder anyway, so you get one anyway, right?
Yeah. I
you
have
didn't
my
get-
old school purple
You
band
didn't get our sliders.
right here.
When you got your annual pass and you customized it and they sent it to you, did you get a new one or an old one?
They never sent me one.
They never sent me one either.
That's rude. I heard now that there is a thing where if you go to Magic Kingdom or any of the guest services where you can become an annual pass holder, they give you a magic band there on the spot. You can pick your color. It just doesn't say your name on the inside.
I just want the slider.
That's all I want.
I just want the slider too. and the magnet for my car.
I'm not putting that magnet on my car. It will get taken.
Mine's gonna be put on the inside of my car on the window. I'm just gonna tape it. It'll be on the inside.
Yeah, we put ours on the refrigerator.
Me too.
So for my September trip, I'm going to have to customize magic bands, obviously for me and Nick, and I'm going to get a purple one.
Question, Tim. Did you and Adam each get a magnet, or you just got one?
We each got an AP magnet, and we each got a
What?
BGC magnet.
Marsh didn't get a magnet. They only sent us one, even though I paid for 2 annual passes.
have
Ooh,
two.
call Disney and tell them what's up.
Well, we bought our annual passes a long time ago.
So, I'd be like, yo, I'm missing something from my annual pass package. But
we didn't put them on the car anyway. I actually want to have vinyl stickers made to look like them and put those on the car.
that's genius.
You should sell those. You make a lot of money.
Well, we have a friend that does it, so we're gonna see.
Oh, nice. You should hook us up.
Yes, please.
You know who it is. I'll tell you off the air.
Okay.
That's what she said.
I think I know who you're talking about, but yeah.
So, September I have magic bands coming that I picked that will go with my package, but it's just like a 10-day ticket. When I upgrade to an annual pass, I don't know if they're going to give me another magic band at guest relations or whatever it's called. Because if so, I'll have like 3 magic bands on me at that time. And then I'll get magic bands for December, and I'll just have a multitude of magic bands.
You don't have to get a new one. You could be like, just link it to this band.
Yeah, but I want an orange 2.01 and a purple 2.01, and then if they give me one at like when I upgrade, I will get a pink one.
So you're into the 2.0. I thought you hated it and you weren't going to be into it.
It's not that I hate it. I want to take the ones I'm not using and put them in carabiners or necklace things, because I go to NASCAR a lot, and lanyards is how we function. All of our tickets, all of our our ID, our phone, it all fits in a lanyard. So if I can do that at Disney World and be bag free, that's the jam. No bags at Disney World, please.
We always have a bag because we carry our camera with us.
Yeah, I always have a backpack.
I want to ignore having a camera, but I have a camera that I'm going to bring with me. Yeah, a million magic bands. I'd rather just tap my lanyard to whatever than...
The only last thing that we do, we normally don't book the rental car until like a month before, if maybe 2 weeks before we leave. And that's it.
That's why we book our parking.
At the airport near your house?
Well, it's not near our house, it's Newark.
Well, I mean, like the airport that you're driving to.
Yeah.
So I have no idea right now, at 190 whatever days out, that how I'm getting from my bed where I'm sitting to Logan Airport for a 6 a.m. flight to go to Florida. But I mean, I could do like a town car or whatever service, but it's really early in the morning, so hopefully someone will drive me. But I'm not parking at the airport. It's so expensive.
We do off-site parking. There's a national chain called the Parking Spot. And it's like $100 for the week, and they drive you from the lot to the airport, and then they pick you up. And they actually drive you to your spot in the lot. Wherever your car is parked, they drive you to your spot.
I leave my car at my mom's house because she lives 10 minutes from Dulles.
Well, that's convenient.
Yeah.
There's a thing called Logan Express where I live, where if someone wants to drop me off there at like 4 a.m., I could get on, there's a bus that goes every like 30 minutes to the airport and back, but that costs money, and I'd rather just like get dropped off and then be done with it. But we'll figure that out. Really early morning. I've never taken such an early morning flight before from Boston to Orlando. It's usually the other way around. I usually leave Orlando at like 7 a.m. and have Magical Express at like 3. So bad. But yeah,
so
Uber.
Is there anything else, or is that it?
You have 2 weeks before your trip to cancel your package if you need to. 5 days to cancel for room only if you're booking that way. That's like way too close for me to... If I ever got to that point, like I'd be frantic trying to cancel a trip that late. But...
Yeah, that's cutting it close.
It's really cutting it close. Like even the 30-day mark for like annual pass holder fast passes and stuff, like that's too close for me. If I had to cancel a trip within 30 days, like I'd be freaking out.
Because by then you should have your plane tickets, and you can't really cancel plane tickets that close. I mean, you could adjust them probably for dates, but...
Mm-hmm. The only way that I'd be that close is if I was driving, which I would know literally at the 200-day mark, because that's when I'd probably buy flights, but it's so insane. So certain people book certain ways. Like, if you're driving, everything that we talk about is going to be way different, because... It depends on when you show up and when you drive back. We don't have control over that. Like, flights are pretty, I don't want to say set, but like 9 times out of 10, if you book a flight, you're going to be on that flight. Only once in my whole life have they ever changed my flight from when it was booked to something else because of lack of people on the flight. And it went earlier, so it was better because we got there earlier, but... Kate, where do you fly from to? Dulles to Orlando?
Yep. JetBlue doesn't fly anymore, so we usually do United. Southwest pissed me off going to Vegas, so I refuse to fly Southwest ever again.
I try only to book JetBlue. Like, that's like the only airport.
We would have to fly to Boston and then go all the way to Orlando. It makes no sense.
Okay, but you could pick me up and then we could all go together. But I fly
do
JetBlue.
United also.
Yeah. JetBlue has direct flights from Orlando to Boston and Boston to Orlando back and forth. And they're usually at like pretty legit times. Like usually when I plan trips I try to do like Thursday night to like Monday night, and they usually have the best options for flights and cheapest. But if I drove, it's almost the same amount of money as if I fly. It just takes me like 25 plus hours.
I checked flights for Friday to Friday. It's going to be $800 for us. It's ridiculous.
That's insane. I would never pay $800 for flights.
For
I'm very
September?
particular on the flights, so I kind of have to. It sucks. I didn't buy it yet, so hopefully the price has gone down since last time I checked a month ago. But
I
yeah.
forgot what we paid for Friday to Friday.
When we go, I feel like it's my trip, so I pay for most of the stuff. Marsh usually pays for the car, and we take turns paying for different meals. But he was complaining on our trip. He paid for almost all the signatures. I paid for Tiffin's, I think, and he landed on California Grill, Le Cellier, and all of them. Yeah.
California
Monsieur
Grill is
Paul.
always our most expensive meal.
Yep.
That's why it's always the last.
It was like $260, but we drank a lot. He had sushi. I had the goat cheese. We both got the filet. We both got dessert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's about what ours was, like $260.
Yeah.
See, that's okay. So I've been throwing around the whole Tiffin's thing for a while. I have the dining plan. If I go to Tiffin's and use my dining plan, it's 2 table service credits. And that includes, okay, if we do it as a regular meal, I can get whatever I want, really, that's included in the dining plan, plus extras, alcoholic drinks, or the Rivers of Light package, which is a appetizer, entree, and dessert with non-alcoholic drink. I'm like, okay, so if I pay out of pocket, which is $67 plus tax and gratuity or whatever for the package, I could have 2 dining service credits on my first 2 days. Why would I not get a gift card for Tiffin's and just be like, here you go, here's my thing, plus alcohol.
Or you can use those 2 credits and go to California Grill.
That's what I was thinking, Tim.
There's no time frame for me to go there. I could go to the lounge. I'm down with that.
I would go to California Grill by myself if I had to.
I would too.
Really?
That duck fat butter, oh my god, it was amazing.
See, I like dining by myself, especially if it's like a bougie atmosphere.
They might
so I'm
put
like,
you by a
ooh.
window since you're by yourself.
Yeah, because those are typically the smaller tables.
The only
Especially the
day
ones
that I would
on
go
the-
there, it would be
the-
regular Wishes fireworks and not Hollow Wishes. But you know what annoys me? Trader Sam's does not take reservations, or like even like, hey, I'm gonna be there at like 7:15 on a Thursday night for 2 people, please.
It would be too crazy if they did.
I'm going there and I'm like literally gonna sit by myself and be like, I'm just gonna drink all this stuff and yep. Gonna get. Can they send those cups back to your house for you?
I don't know.
Like,
We took ours. We just packed them in our suitcase around the clothes. But this trip, we're going to bring an empty suitcase.
I always
a hard-sided empty one. Well, not empty, but mostly empty. This way we can pack all the breakable stuff in there and carry it on.
see, I only travel with carry-ons. Like, I don't check bags, so I literally would FedEx the things. I want to make a box and FedEx it back to myself. So
We
when I get
always
home,
overpack, so we have to carry on.
do. Yeah.
so good. I'm pretty much sending most of the stuff I buy there back, like, via FedEx.
You're weird.
Dude, I'll get it at work like two weeks later and be like, oh my god, I love this. I didn't even remember buying this. Because I can only bring so much back on a carry-on because I refuse to check bags. I can't do it. I can't do it. If I was driving, I would bring all the stuff with me, but the extra $25 to $40 of like shipping it, totally worth it. Especially for a surprise when it comes back. You're like, oh my gosh, I didn't even expect this and it showed up. It's so good. I love it.
Okay, we should probably wrap it up now. Is there any last things?
Starbucks treats!
Okay.
Hey, look! Turkey, lobster, sweet potato pie, pancakes piled up till they reach the sky. Oh, I want to eat and eat and eat and eat and eat until I die.
I actually forgot, and I picked up one of my cookbooks books right before we started, and I got a recipe that I've never given out before. This is from the Delicious Disney Desserts book, and this is from R.I.P. starring Rose Cafe.
I watched your chicken Florentine video earlier and was like, I need to make that.
Oh, you need to. That stuff's good.
Dude, I was watching it being like, I want this now.
Okay, and this recipe is for the key lime pie, and obviously you would buy the little mini ones there, but this one actually makes one 9-inch pie. And for the graham cracker crust, you're going to need 6 tablespoons of melted butter, 3 tablespoons of sugar, 1 1/3 cups of graham cracker crumbs, and for the filling, 2 cups of sweet condensed milk, 1/4 cup plus 2 tablespoons of key lime juice, 2 eggs, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla. For the crust, you're going to preheat your oven to 350, stir together the butter, sugar, and graham cracker crumbs in a medium bowl. You're going to firmly press that into a 9-inch pie pan and bake for 8 minutes and cool that. Then for the filling, whisk together your milk, key lime juice in a medium bowl, whisk egg in one at a time, add vanilla, and stir to combine. Slowly pour filling into the crust, bake 10 minutes or until set, and then you're going to refrigerate for at least 3 hours before you serve this, and put on some whipped cream and all that. And that's it.
400 pounds of whipped cream, please. I'm so mad when I went to Key West I didn't have a key lime pie or tart.
When I was down there, they had like key lime cheesecake and all that on a stick everywhere.
Whoa, sugar out of control. And now, this is going to be weird. Tim's going to say what Mark usually says.
What does Mark usually say? Oh, I forgot.
Why don't they tell them where they can find it?
I was just going to say it.
Weird.
I was
R.I.P.
joking,
Mark.
Meg. I was joking. Well, why don't you tell us where they can find us?
You can go first, Tim, since you're our guest.
Oh, okay, since I'm a guest, but I'm really not that big on social media, but if you want to say hi, you can find me over at our other podcasts group. It's 3 Sheets to the Mouse. It's Facebook/group/3 Sheets to the Mouse. If you do want to listen to that podcast, just a little disclaimer, it is adult-oriented, so don't let your kids listen.
It's very funny. I like it.
It is, yeah.
Okay.
Adults only, but definitely worth it.
Okay, you can find me on Twitter at YohoYohoBlogger. My blog is YohoYohoBloggersLifeForMe.blogspot.com, and you can email us at mouseportpodcast@gmail.com.
I'm on Twitter at MegVeg and at _MegVeg on Instagram. We're all on Facebook at facebook.com/group/Mouseport, and you can find us all on Twitter at MouseportCast. Our website is mouseport.tumblr.com. All of our episodes are there. If you want to scroll back and see some stuff, you can listen to that. And don't forget to check us out on Stitcher, iTunes, Google Play, and YouTube now. You can go on there, leave a comment, or download our episodes, all that fun stuff. Next week, we will have some other fun stuff for you. Me, Kate, and maybe Tim, maybe Adam, maybe who knows. But we will see you guys all next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.